Hello, everyone, and welcome to another talk within the nine-sided circle. As you can see, today you have two of us on one screen,
Yes, so I am, as I usually say, your host, Nor Kyle.
and I am her faithful sidekick and sometimes raconteur, Mushtaq Ali.
So yeah, we're gonna be hanging out together this week as we sometimes do, and we enjoy that.
Yeah, it's actually because her computer exploded, so until we get it fixed, it's going to look like this.
Yeah, God willing, that will be a quick fix, nothing serious. But yeah, we're
But
hoping
anyway, what are we doing tonight? Let me
tonight.
tell you. Let you tell me. We'll tell each other. Tonight, we're going to talk about a very important practice that we feel is the practice of this time. It's what the world might very well need, or a bunch of people in the world might very well need, because not everybody can benefit from every practice. But I think a great deal of human beings could benefit from this particular practice. So we've spoken about it before in various different ways, and we're going to speak about it again tonight.
Yeah, and it's one that we benefit from.
Yeah. And we're going to start with its origins
Mhm.
and drag it up into the 21st century. And then we're going to teach you the practice. And you're going to be able to do it, and it will be amazing. And your entire life will change, and we'll have a really good time. But before we do that, we need to ask you kindly to please take a moment to like this video. And as we get ready to uh, talk about these things to everybody, um, ask you if you would consider subscribing to us. It's a small thing for you. You never have to look at the subscription again, but it helps us with the algorithm. And if you would be so kind, leave a comment. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Yeah,
All right, that's it. Let's go.
okay.
All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen with you. And I'm going to give you,
All right. So can you guys see this? You can give a thumbs up if you can. Great. Okay, good.
okay, here's a bunch of names. And what this represents is a section of the silsila of the Sufi order that we are connected to.
Mhm.
Um,
Silsila is like the chain of transmission, as
yeah.
it said.
And the practice that we are going to do tonight comes from this guy here, Khwāja Maḥmūd al-Anjīr al-Faghnawī. Um, the beginning of this chain goes all the way back to the Prophet, but it starts with this particular line, which is the Khwājagān, with a fellow by the name of Yusuf Hamadani, who came from Hamadan, which is down in up northern Iran, and who went up to Samarkand and Bukhara and Merv and basically brought something new to the world. His first student, his first Khalifa, the person who inherited the mantle of teaching from him was Abdallah Barki. He didn't live that long. But before he died, he handed off the burden of teaching to Khwaja Hassan Andaki, who was an amazing fellow by all accounts, but only lived for a couple of years. At that point, there was nobody to follow them. Khwaja Ahmed Yasevi had at this time already traveled back to what was in the day called Chinese Turkestan. This is the area that the Uyghurs come from. Uh, and they asked him to come back.
Yeah, he didn't really have plans to
Yeah,
step in like this,
yeah,
but
he was off doing his thing. But he came back and he spent the next 3 years finishing the training of Khwāja al-Khāliq Ghijduwānī. And that was a big deal. After Yasevi thought that everything was the way it should be, he gave the reins of the tariqa over to ʿAbd. He trained his successor, Muhammad Arif al-Rigwari. There may be another teacher in there somewhere. There's some debate, so I just set it up easy because this way it fits on the page. And he trained the next successor, which was Khwāja Maḥmūd al-Anjīr al-Faghnawī. Ta-da! And he is the guy who created the present moment dhikr, which was a big deal. And there's a lot of confusion around what exactly he did, but we'll try and clear it up. Now, just to help train this, Faghnawī trained Ali al-Ramatani, who trained Baba Asmasi, who trained Amir Kulal, who was the teacher of Bahauddin Naqshband, where the line split off there to create the Naqshbandi tariqa. The Khwāja Ahmed had already had a branch of the Khwājagān going back in Chinese Turkestan in the area of Yasi at that time.
Ahmed Yasevi had another branch going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where this comes from, to pin it in space-time. Let me get rid of that.
So this was like at least
Close to 1,000,
nine
yeah,
centuries ago.
Yeah, 900 years ago, approximate.
So that's 1,000 years of history
Yeah,
that we are continuing to keep alive. Together. Not just me and Mushtaq, but us together.
yeah.
Meaning all of you.
So, Faghnawī he did two things. One was he introduced congregational dhikr, which is a vocal dhikr done with a bunch of people. You can see it on the internet today.
I was going to say, if you aren't familiar with that, you can search YouTube for Sufi performances, quote unquote, or
Yeah.
Sufi dhikr, group dhikr, and you'll see people, usually men.
They're not always.
Not always, this
Yeah.
is true. Standing in circles or sitting in circles, leaning into each other, chanting the names of God. And that would be a kind of communal dhikr that is meant to be a practice that everyone hears, and there's something to be gained from that.
Yeah. And there's some confusion because the congregational dhikr, I'm going to throw the Arabic up here for you. Here we go. So, this means basically audible, openly, publicly, remembrance openly.
Dhikr al-ʿalāniyya.
Yeah. Now, along with that, And here's where some of the confusion might have come up with. He created this practice. And you can notice that there's a certain similarity with both the Arabic and the sounds. Now, Dhikr-i āniyya is said with the Persian. That little I there is called an izafe. And this is an Arabic loan word that literally means remembrance of nowness.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, remembrance of nowness. And this has the sense of the present moment remembrance, keeping the name in awareness right now, moment by moment, in the present. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. There's been lots of stuff said about vocal dhikr in congregation.
Yeah. Yep. That's the one that's the most prevalent, at least outwardly, not necessarily inwardly. And if you're wondering what the spellings of these are, at least in the romanization, you'll see those in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't include the Arabic in the description.
On YouTube, I mean.
Yeah.
But for those of you who are here live, you'll be able to see it in the chat.
Does this make sense so far? Clear as mud, but it covers the ground.
Any questions so far? Okay, good.
Good.
James gives us a thumbs up.
Then we're doing okay. As long as James approves, we're rocking. Okay. How do we get to this practice? We've talked about this before, but I'm going to remind you. You need an entering shock. The entering shock for this practice is realizing the present moment exists. Right now, each of you can experience the felt presence. The sense of now. And as you know, if you've been listening to us, that sense of now lasts about 1 to 3 seconds before it becomes then. So do this. Take a breath. Feel yourself breathe. Let it out. Pause at the end and notice now. Notice you're right here, right now. And notice when that noticing becomes the past. Does that make sense?
No, I mean, it makes sense as a concept, but I couldn't experience it.
It takes a minute sometimes, especially if you spend a lot of time thinking about the past or the future. The now is fleeting, but you can all experience it right now. So,
James has his hand up.
yes, James.
Yeah, about 1 to 3 seconds, and I'm remembering the now as the past. It's definitely falling back into concepts, and it is about 1 to 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds at the most.
Yeah. 3 seconds means you're doing okay. So, the trick for this particular remembrance is to take that sense of the perceived presence and elongate it. This is the present moment exercise.
And I believe we have done a talk specifically
We've done
about this.
2 talks.
Yeah.
3 talks, actually, because one of them was a 2-part talk.
Yes. So if you're feeling totally lost, just know that those are there for you as well to return to. And
yeah, and we'll put links to them.
we will put links to them. Yeah.
So the entering shock is realizing that you can be in the now, in this moment, distinguished from thoughts of the past or future. Now, I want you to notice when you try to do this, within a second or two, you're going to be thinking about something else. The idea of experiencing the present goes away. And you're thinking about, what are these people talking about? I don't remember ever hearing anything as weird as this in my entire life. What the heck? But wait, there's more. Ian.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to clarify a little bit what I meant.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we didn't give you more of an opportunity to speak. Feel free.
No, I didn't have any more to say back then. It's as I've been thinking about it and following what Mushtaq's been saying. I have no problem being present in the now. The thing I was having a problem with was noticing when things slipped into the past.
Yeah. But if you think about it, that very talk is in the past now, right?
Sure.
And you can be in the present now. And there's a point where you are a traveler. You are traveling through the time stream. We usually don't experience this because we ignore it. And what this exercise is going to do is help you to remember that you were a traveler, and this moment that is the present is the one in which we actually live. All other experience tends to be sleep. Unless you're in the present planning on what you're going to have for dinner, maybe.
Well, we don't need to get stuck on this.
Let's get stuck on it, man. We have nothing better to do for the next hour and a half. So you're good.
I'll keep trying to notice, and we'll see what happens, if
Sounds
anything.
good.
Who is that?
Jefferson.
Jefferson, talk to us.
Yeah, so this time when I started to go into it, um, I don't know, I seemed to be in the present, and then I was actually feeling my heartbeat. I usually don't experience that because I think there's overlap here with awareness of breathing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
awareness of breath is a presence practice. And it was as if I don't know exactly what was happening. I want to, see if it can happen again, but it was almost like there was a catapulting. I don't know if I was catapulting in or out, but that my heartbeat there was a kind of like it was almost like a looping. And I think I was looping back into the present. I'd feel my heartbeat. It's like my body was slightly moving, and it would re-trigger my intent to be present.
That's almost undoubtedly exactly what happened. A lot of people can't easily hear or feel their heartbeat. If you're lucky enough to be one of the ones that can, that gives you an extra tool for this. So, yay.
Yeah. I mean, we tend to suggest the breath for that because it's something that is a bit more easily sensed into, but the heartbeat works too. Thank you, Jefferson.
Yeah. And we don't usually talk about that, but that is a very cool thing. If you can feel your heartbeat, that will help keep you present in the present moment.
Yeah.
Because your heart only beats in the present moment.
True that.
Yep. So what you do is a simple breath practice to start with this. And it's like, assume that you know what a beat is. Everybody's beat is going to be different. And it's going to change if you do this. So I don't say 1 second or 2 seconds or whatever, though I've done this with metronomes to time myself to an absolute thing. And my body hates that. So I don't do it as much other than for proper experimentation.
When you say your body hates that,
The metronome, it's hard to sync it to what I'm doing, and what I'm doing changes as I go deeper into the remembrance.
yeah, it starts to feel constricting,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to inhale for 3 beats. Feel the breath as you do that. Then you're going to pause at the top of the inhale and notice the now slip away and become then. Then you're going to exhale and repeat. So inhale, pause and watch the now, and notice when the inhale becomes the past. Then exhale. Does that make sense? So this allows you to experience the first conscious shock. The first conscious shock is to notice that that inhale becomes something in the past. Nancy.
Yeah, I just wanted to check. There's a pause at the end of the inhale, but not at the end of the exhale.
Not for this. We're tricking you right now.
Okay.
We're going to do the other one in a minute.
You already know it, so
Yeah.
you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, this is just because if you are stopping at that pause on the inhale's gone. And you will feel it slipping into the past if you're like most people. How is that working for you, Ian?
It was interesting because actually I did actually feel some beats. I don't know if directly from my heart, but pulses. But my brain somehow does not seem to have the mechanism to make this distinction between present and
Yeah.
past, and when it do. And I'm not too bothered about it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, I mean, maybe it'll become clearer, or maybe it'll be something like the aphantasia where I just don't have some kind of capability. I'm not bothered about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. It will probably become clear. And if it doesn't, then all I can say is that this is probably not the best practice for you. You're going to be one of the very small number of people who need a different practice. And either is okay. I have a certain amount of faith that you're going to be able to do this, though.
Yeah, I'm willing to persevere.
Yeah, I trust your intellect, and I trust that you will get your intellect out of the way. So we refine this now. We're going to move past the initial noticing to actively getting used to being present. If we were on the Enneagram, we would be going across the equator now. It's a difficult threshold.
And if you're not familiar with the Enneagram, don't worry about that right now.
We're gonna slap one of the times that we've talked about this practice, where we did a two-part talk a while ago called the Enneagram of the Now. And we will link you to the part one of that, and you can find part two if you want. But it will help with this.
So
in this talk, what we want to do is encourage you to start doing this practice. And we have specific reasons for this. And the reasons are very important. And we will get to those in a minute or two. So we're going to do the core practice now. We're going to do an incremental lengthening of the now for you. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to do a 3-beat inhale. We're going to pause for a moment and let the now go. Then we're going to exhale for 6 beats, trying to hold the now that we now have. Keep in the present. Hold yourself in the present. Don't let your attention go to the past. Your attention stays in the present for the entire 6 beats. And then inhale for 3 beats and exhale for 6 beats. The goal is to do this for a total of 9 beats of sustained presence. And this is like weightlifting. This is developing the muscles of your attention. Your attention is what holds you in the present moment. And you know that you're in the present moment because you feel awake. Things are clear. You feel present. Yes, Ian?
You didn't specifically mention doing pauses at the top or bottom.
Nope.
Okay.
Now, this is an interim practice. It's like you inhale. The pause is there for a moment. And then you exhale.
So inhale for your own 3 beats. The pause at the top of that inhale, as Mushtaq said, can be practically not there, but you do need to be able to switch from an in-breath to an out-breath, of course.
Yeah. Imagine a pendulum whose swing is shorter on one end than on the other.
And then, yes, after that pause, you have the exhale for your own count of 6 beats.
So I'm hoping that you're beginning to see, this is an incremental practice to bring you into the final stage of this. So this is initiatory in a sense. The first thing that you do is learn to perceive the present moment, even though it doesn't last. The second thing you're doing now is learning to hold that present moment.
And then let it go as the next one comes on.
Yeah.
So to help make sense of this, you may or may not recall, if you've watched our videos for a while, we talked about things like slicing time. That's another thing you could search through our channel for, so that you can really get a sense of what we mean about the feel of the now and its transition like a memory into the past. You start feeling it become a memory rather than something currently available to you. But then, of course, a fresh moment comes in for you to sense into. And the cycle continues.
Yeah. So now we get to the next part of this, which is surrendering to the present moment. When you are actively holding the shock, when you're actively holding the present moment, it's constrained a little bit. You need to make this qualitative change where you go from actively holding the present moment to surrendering yourself to the present moment so it can be there as long as it needs to be without you putting a lot of effort into it. You put a lot of attention into it, but not a lot of effort, if that makes sense. This is something that takes a minute to learn. So, you inhale. You find the now. You exhale. And you just let it be. You don't try and hold it, but you keep your awareness on it. You keep your attention on the now. And then you inhale again. And you keep your attention on the now. And you let it go. And you just be present. You surrender to the present moment rather than trying to effort the present moment. And this allows you to sustain the now for quite a bit longer. At this point, once you've done this, you want to move through the world while in the now. This requires making the practice part of one's daily activity, daily life. We talk about the walk of the dervish, which is something that we do to keep ourselves present. Now, there is one step of this practice beyond what we're talking about now. And we don't really need to go into that until you can do this. So when you feel like you've got this down comfortably, when you can hold yourself in the present moment or surrender yourself to the present moment for, say, 60 seconds, contact us and we'll give you the last part. Give it to you for free. But it's no use knowing what the last part is until you can do this. Now, here comes the interesting question. Why? So we're going to introduce another one of those pesky Arabic words, which is shahada. Shahada means to witness. And in Islam, we know shahada.
Yes, thank you for the question, Mert.
Yeah, we're about to get to that.
Yeah.
Mert wants to know, how does this make the world a better place?
How does this practice make the world a better place? Yeah.
Okay. Shahada in Islam, it literally means to witness, and the witnessing is La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is his prophet. That's the witnessing that everybody understands. But it's more than that. And that's what we talk about going along with self-remembering and self-observation is self-witnessing.
Mm-hmm.
And this gets to that. The witnessing that we're talking about is witnessing the now as the expression of the divine presence. Where else are you going to find the divine if not in the now? And where else are you going to find your own essence if not in the now? You're not going to define your essence in the past anywhere.
Not even in the future. That's just not real. I feel like I need to quote Shuri right now, who's quoting others who have taught her. It's not real. So what is real? The present moment is what's real.
So how does this make the world a better place? We live in a world that demands our attention. It steals our attention at every moment. Think about how much time each of every one of you spends doom scrolling through the internet, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Think about the ads that go, hey, buy me.
Follow me. Pay me.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that, except for us.
I was gonna say us too.
Yeah.
But in a real sense, what we're getting at is, sure, there are all of these ways that we expend energy in this world that are taking us out of the now. And sometimes we can do that deliberately for a certain goal or aim. But really, if we want to have a sense of why bother under all of that effort, this is why.
Yeah. And humanity is being vampirized by that which wants our attention. James says, beguiling magicians are performing in the Kali Yuga. Do not become distracted. Exactly. The mind parasites are real, and they are sucking your brains dry. And this is the way that you protect yourself from them. If you're in the present moment, even baby kittens, is that an oxymoron? Baby kittens? Little kitties will not be as interesting as being in the now. And you need to constantly practice that to antidote everything that's stealing your attention. And you all know something that's stealing your attention.
Yes, Shuri.
In the last couple of weeks, you were talking about putting our attention into our hands and then our feet. And then you said, put them together so that you're expanding that awareness. So I've been playing around with that. And then with the breath practice, it's just reminded me of how many things you're carrying when you say you're distracted and the smartphone is constantly calling or tempting you, and we're holding so many different things in our mind all at the same time. I find that the practice is actually giving my mind a rest.
Yes.
And this is what, when people go, oh, I've got time to do this, or I haven't got time to do that, you actually have to make time, because it's actually quite soothing to actually come back into that present moment, to feel that now. And you got to it's like putting those thoughts down, put them down, put them down, put them down. And you have to keep reminding yourself. And so when you go back to that sensation of feeling the count, feeling the pressure of having to exhale, feeling the sensation of sustaining it for 6 counts, and then feeling the pressure of you have to inhale and doing it a bit quicker, all of those things give my mind a rest.
Yes.
Thank you, Shuri. That really does add to or enhance our why here, because that brings it into everyday life. You know, why? Why do we do this? Because our brains are so full and our bodies are so weighted with all the usually nonsense that we engage with all the time because it feels valuable. So how do we give our bodies, minds, spirits a rest from that? It takes there's a bit of a learning curve on it because it's not something that we're used to doing anymore, but it allows for relief and for recalibration, recentering.
So it's like this. We are swimming through the time stream. And in the time stream are leeches and lamprey. You all know what a lamprey is? If not, look it up. Yeah. But think leech. We're going along and all of these leeches are glomming onto us. And each one of them is sucking a little bit of our attention. One leech, no big deal. 10 leeches, bigger deal. 100 leeches, way bigger deal. And every one of them is sucking some of our attention. And the only way to get yourself free of them is to pull your attention away so that there is nothing for them to feed on. And the way you do that is by being conscious in the present moment. It's the only safe place from the mind leeches. For those of you who know me, you know I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft sort of stories, and this fits right in with it. For me, it's a good metaphor. For other people, it will give you the creeps and maybe some nightmares, and I apologize for that. But Ian. Yes, Ian.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, it's interesting because last night I was watching my usual Saturday night animes on Adult Swim, and I could feel myself getting drawn into the emotions of these unreal characters. And so I started making an effort to try and detach from that. And I was a little surprised at how hard I was finding it. But I like the fact that I was at least trying. And it's something I want to continue to do as much as I can while I watch TV of any sort.
Yeah. I mean, I think just about everyone enjoys a little escapism and a little bit of the emotional entertainment, as in, moving along with the experience of the characters and all that. That can be fun, but can we do it on purpose as opposed to it kind of just happening to us by accident, in the sense that, as you're saying, Ian, can we develop a practice of being able to do it at will as opposed to, oh shit, it's happening to me again? And so I think that's an excellent thing to notice and to observe how you can respond to that with intention. So thank you for that.
We have 2 things coming up.
Yes.
And somebody put their hand.
Jefferson has his hands up. Nancy has
a good comment and
said something before this too, in response to Shuri, if you don't mind scrolling up.
I do mine terribly.
Yeah, RM in response to Shuri's sharing said, well said, Shuri. I felt the same ways. I felt recharged as well. This is in response to Shuri talking about returning to the sensing of the body in the present. And in response to
Nancy,
I think it was what Ian was saying, and other such things that have come up. Nancy says, this is reminding me of the gray rock strategy for dealing with narcissists.
I have no idea what that is, so you may need to explain it to us, Nancy.
Neither of us are familiar.
Oh, it's a recommendation of the narcissist is doing all kinds of things to try to get your attention, and you pretend to be a gray rock and just be non-responsive.
Now I recall that.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, treating the attention leeches like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it was in reference to. Your leech metaphor. Yeah. Great. Thank you, Nancy.
Real quick,
Welcome.
RM says, how can I make a decision while in the present moment? And the answer is it takes a little practice, but you be present while thinking about what you need to do. It's a matter of expanded attention, what Gurdjieff calls split attention, though it's not split. So I'm in the present moment and I'm thinking, oh, I must prepare dinner after this talk. What shall I make? But I keep holding that present while I'm thinking about that. It takes practice to do it. Usually you're going to go away and then you're going to come back. But that's basically it. And now we get to Jefferson.
Well, I mean, yes. And that's how it starts too.
Yeah.
Like you may wander off and come back, but as I'm always saying, it's the repetition that matters, that returning to the present moment as you're moving forward in whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So start there.
Yeah.
All right, Jefferson.
Yeah, it's having me think for myself about the distinction between desire, moving from desire or moving from initiative or initiating action. I mean, I know it's about the now, but there's like I've been getting into the Enneagram courses and videos, and just that very thing that starts towards something, it seems similar to what brings me to the now, like this
Yep.
like you know,
It's exactly that.
it's helpful.
Thanks, Jefferson. Good to know. Any other thoughts or questions right now coming up? All right, we'll move forward. And I heard a pop. What was that? Yes, Nancy.
What I'm realizing as I do the breathing is how tight my shoulders are, which makes the present really rather unpleasant. And, you know, I kind of keep thinking, well, is there something I can do to relax them? And, you know, when the present is that they're tight and they hurt.
Yeah. This is kind of a multi-answer thing.
Mhm.
On the one hand, this is not always an easy approach, but it is one of those things that you can take notice of without judgment and allow it to be what it is. I mean, for some of us, it's as simple as saying, okay, I notice that I have my shoulders raised up to my ears right now. And one thing that I can do to relieve the tension that's creating is to breathe a little bit slower and deeper and consciously allow that tension to be released so that my shoulders fall comfortably lower and sit where they feel best. But for those of us who have chronic pain issues where it doesn't matter if we allow ourselves to feel into and release and all of that, maybe it hurts. And taking ibuprofen, doing some stretches helps a little bit, but the pain is still going to be there. It's likely to still be there. What I do is, in some sense, I make my peace with that. I learn to use the breath practice as a way to take the emotional charge out of that pain existing exactly as it is, despite my best efforts to alleviate it. And when we do practices that allow us to take the emotional charge out of it, and this is not something that is done for everybody in 30 seconds or less. Sometimes this takes learning as well, takes practice. when there's less of a resistance and emotional charge to the pain, psychologically it begins to hurt less. This is a known phenomenon in pain management. I know I bring up pain management a lot. That's because I have experience with it. There's so much about pain that is not just physical, but also psycho-emotional. So in a chicken and egg sort of way, breath practices like this can help us cope with those kinds of pain. Is that any useful answer for you, Nancy?
Yes.
I'm glad. I always have plenty to say about that.
Is that Ian again?
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed in recent months is that the pain that I had been experiencing in my neck last year probably it seems to have somehow just dissipated, and it's a very nice feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that, and I have absolutely no doubt that it's because I've been coming here and paying attention.
We'll take credit for it. It's actually all your work, but we'll take credit for it.
But we're glad to hear it. That's
Yeah.
great, Ian.
Who's next?
Heidi.
Heidi, yes.
Yeah, this is a thought that came up. That maybe somewhere behind this, there's this sense of, there's obviously something rhythmic about this practice, and maybe there's a sense of getting into some kind of flow, like a more fundamental flow. So it's making me think now, if we're in the now, we're in the present moment, are we in stillness, or are we like just getting on the skateboard of life and moving with the, the surfboard of life or something, and moving with the flow? Because
Can be both.
yeah, I was thinking, I try to do 2 Surya Namaskar every morning in my exercise routines, sun salutes. And in that practice, there's always an inhale movement followed by an exhale movement.
Mhm.
And it says inhale, exhale. And then sometimes I just do the sun salute, and I like don't do the breathing part. But it's very different if I do the sun salute and I like remember to do the inhale, exhale.
That's great to hear, because there's a reason why breath practices tend to go along with physical movements of traditions like yoga or Tai Chi and things of that nature. And you're right, it's because the breath work enhances, it enables the practice. I guess it's again one of those chicken and egg things where they both make each other better, Thank you for that, Heidi. Okay, RM has said some stuff in the chat.
Yeah. Start here.
Okay. Is there anything before that? Okay. RM has said, also last week's exercise, the body scan exercise Mushtaq and I shared with you guys last week, helped me become a better listener.
Oh, yeah.
I think present moment exercise may do the same. I have basically no doubt that it will help someone become a better listener.
Yeah. What makes a good listener is paying attention, being in the present, and hearing the words as they come to you word by word in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're thinking about things. Noor and I are talking, and she says something that reminds me of what we were doing earlier today. And then I reflect upon that while she's talking at me, and I'm not listening to her. And then I say something that's a non sequitur, and then she hits me with her bottle, and it all goes to hell from there.
Or vice versa. Yeah. I mean, I do that to him all the time. So we have our moments too. And often they happen when we are so driven towards a task that we're losing the present moment or we're too tired, meaning the energy is not there. So this is one thing we're talking about with trying to work towards freeing ourselves from all of these leeches draining of our attention and our energy. Because if we can take some initiative around that, then we have more energy and attention left to invest in practices like this, which in turn allow us to create and depend on more energy being there for us when we need it.
Yeah. So it's good to remember that your cell phone is full of leeches and probably spiders too.
So if you notice yourself really spacing out and not being able to attend, you're probably tired. Maybe you need a nap. Maybe you need a sandwich, a glass of water, time alone, whatever it may be. Notice that and let it be useful information for you because it'll allow you to do more practices that help you fulfill your why, like this.
Yeah, and RM mentions also nonverbal cues as well.
Yes.
And this is important. I mentioned last night on my Facebook page that Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House of the U.S. House of Representatives, has a tell. A tell is something that a person does that tips you off to what's going on. It's a term that comes from gambling, from poker.
Yeah.
So you're playing poker with somebody, and every time they hold a good hand, they start stroking their beard. That's a tell.
And they don't realize, well,
Yeah.
let's say they don't realize they're doing it.
Most people who have tells don't realize they're doing it. Mike Johnson has a tell. There's something that he does every time he's lying without fail.
Do you want to share what it is?
No.
Okay.
I want people to find it out. And the way you find it out is you find a video of him talking to the press or whatever, answering questions, and you turn the sound off and just watch his expressions. Notice that there is a set of expressions that he has, and then turn the sound back on and see what expressions he does to what things he's saying, and that will help you find his tell. And you can do that with anybody. Everybody has tells.
Whether it's for lying or like flashes of inner self-doubt, it could be any kind of particular thing. They have a quirk. Depending on the individual, everybody has quirks that indicate some kind of internal thing that's going on.
Noor has a tell that has nothing to do with lying per se, but if I ask her certain questions, she'll go, maybe.
Which he hates. And then I often don't realize I'm doing it until I'm in the middle of doing it. We've all got these things.
Yep. And Todd asks, is this related to how active listening training works? Maybe. It depends on the kind of training, because there's a few. The kind of active listening that we do, it's related to that. It's sitting present, taking in exactly what is given without adding any of your own crap to it. And Ian has another question.
Or that.
Or answer.
I was just going to be a little bit facetious and say that you can tell Mike Johnson is lying by the fact that his lips are moving.
Well, yeah, there is that.
It's an old classic, but
nevertheless true in many cases.
Yeah, but what you said was very interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. See what is
there are lots of ways to train yourself to observe these things. Most people never learn to observe another human being. And the thing is, you can only observe another person in the present moment. You can't observe them in their past moment. It's right where you're sitting now, as old Bob used to say.
Robert Anton Wilson.
Yeah, he used to say that. He actually wrote a book by that title, I think.
All right, is there anything we need to share?
No. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Mert.
Yes, you haven't mentioned about the guardrails, or did you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, for example, what do you mean when you say don't force the breath? How do you force the breath?
Or, breathing so deeply that it's uncomfortable, or breathing out so forcefully or so long that it's not just.
Yeah, you're trying to make it be something other than what it is. And that's part of the guardrails. Guardrails are what protect you. And so when you over effort, she disappears.
That was on. When you over effort.
When you over effort, then you will pull yourself away from the present moment. Like if you breathe the way I was just breathing, you're going to hyperventilate and pass out. And trust me, that takes you away from the present moment.
Or if you do really, I'm sure we've talked about this before. When we started out, I was doing such aggressive exhales, like long, aggressive exhales. I would give myself a tension headache. Don't do that to yourself.
Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd is saying I grayed out when I started to learn sawing breath. That's a traditional Sufi breath that can be quite aggressive, but you train to it. Train to it.
And there's only one right way to do it without graying out. And the elder dervishes delight in allowing you to discover that for yourself. Hey, look, he passed out.
RM says, for her, the present moment exercise will be easier to sustain in nature. It almost always happens to me. Yeah. Start there. My recommendation would be to see if you can carry it to environments that aren't so soothing and calming, because the idea is for this to be useful in any circumstance, but start where it is easy. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. And Jefferson
says, I can foresee toggling between efforting and the surrendering mentioned in the practice. Try to surrender. Yes.
Absolutely. That's like the Tai Chi teacher said. He says, relax.
Yeah.
No, relax harder.
Yeah. I think anyone who has tried to do something with quote unquote intention, I used that word earlier. How do we intentionally act with ease? Geez, it's a puzzle. And I think
this is why it's called practice.
Yeah, you keep messing up until one day you're like, oh my God, I get it now. And you'll laugh at yourself, just like I did when I was doing the over-intensive exhales that gave me tension headaches. And I was like, actually, I don't think it needs to be this hard. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought, right? Yeah. But I had to wake up to that, essentially. Mert.
So sometimes I am very, very present. I think I am very present. I'm walking down the street and I see a poor person lying like this or in a very bad situation, but I am so present that I don't even care. Am I doing right?
Yes.
Okay.
If by I don't even care, you mean I don't start talking to myself in my head and hallucinating about this poor person.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, what I mean is I can help him, or maybe I can give him a little bit of money, or he's in a bad situation. He needs help,
Okay.
and I don't
That's
care.
the first question. Am I in a position to help him?
Yes,
Then do I want to help him?
I don't care.
You don't care if you help him? Okay. Then there you are. There's the answer.
Okay.
There's a lot more to that than we have time to talk about tonight, but the answer is if you in a state of presence look at this person and go, I could give him money, but I don't feel that that's right, then you don't.
Mm.
But do it from a state of presence. Don't do it from a state of guilt. Don't do it from a state of obligation. Don't do it from a state of pity or any of these things. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Good. Do you like that answer?
No,
What about the answer do you not like?
because it didn't create a conflict, so we could argue.
I'm up for arguing anytime, man. I love arguing. It's my favorite thing, besides snuggling up with my darling. As that comes first and then arguing.
Then arguing. Sometimes both at the same time.
Yeah. So I can go, Mert, you're wrong. Sorry, James. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, he had to take off.
Yeah. Ian, you have a thought. I hate it when James has to take off.
Yeah, what Mert was talking about, it struck me that it's a very good example of the importance of being non-judgmental in self-observation.
Yeah. That is a really good point, Ian.
I think it also gets back to, I mean, regardless of how we may want to strive to behave, we have to start with what's real, right? And I think that's what you're saying, Ian, this whole self-observation. What is true right now? What's actually happening in me? Anything else is storytelling, essentially.
Yeah. And I run across this all the time. I walk down in Old Town Palo Alto, for instance, which I enjoyed visiting, and there are people there begging, and sometimes I will just walk right past, and other times I'll give the guy $20. Depends on how it all feels. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it goes a little bit deeper than, well, I don't even know necessarily day to day. It depends on the day and it depends on the amount of presence and the capacity to self-observe in a given moment. But when we say how it feels, it's not about mood necessarily.
No, it's definitely not about mood. It's
Yeah.
not about emotion. It's not about stories that you tell yourself.
Yeah, one of the things that struck me was that there's somewhere sort of in the narrative that Mert was talking about, and whatever context it involved, is that he saw himself feeling one way, which is the reality of what he was feeling. But then there's something else that prompted him to ask the question, which is that we have, I'm not quite sure how to say this, we, quotes, exist in a culture where maybe we're supposed to, in quotes, care. And I think it's very interesting to get to a point where you can observe that maybe you don't care and it's okay, as opposed to trying to pretend that we should care.
Most of the time, when you find yourself caring, you're doing that caring for you, not for the person about whom you are caring, which is a hard thing to face. But
No.
we make ourselves feel better. You look at this poor person laying on the side of the road and you go, "Oh, I'm going to help him," and now I feel better.
Yeah,
What if you could help him and not feel anything at all?
yeah, I totally agree about that.
Yeah. So, all
I'd
right,
be
go ahead.
I was just going to say I'd be very interested to hear from Mert about this bit of the conversation and whether any of it is making sense to him.
Now, it will either make sense to him or it won't. And he will either be able to take it in or he'll decide that we're all crazy and he will find a better place to be.
What do you think, Mert? No pressure.
Yeah, everybody's staring at you, man.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, it makes sense. I think we all have that options. Like we have opinions from two sides inside us. It's up to us. I think Mushtaq was talking about if you be really present, perhaps you will hear the right side more.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Cherie has something to say.
Cherie, you need to unmute.
Getting a bit of trouble with my connections too. So about not letting your left hand and your right hand know what each you're doing in giving. And it just reminded me of the fact that your giving, as I think Mushtaq is correct in saying this, it's like, why should you care? It's not about that care thing. It's like, what benefit are you trying to get back to yourself? Because there's a lot of these little shorts on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram of people giving a poor person $500, $1,000, and it's wonderful. Why don't you just do that without having to do a video? Because it's like it's making this person that's doing the giving a lot of recognition about what such a good person you're doing, and not scorekeeping. Just give, don't even think about it. The payback thing is really bothers me a lot. Just give, just don't worry about it. Paying it forward. That's why I keep saying, to our community, to our James, just pay it forward. There's no paying back to me. My giving is just giving. The end. Neutral.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are ways that you can actually do that, give without anything. Traditionally, where I come from, people need money sometimes. And the way you would give your friend money is you put it in your palm like this, and then you reach out and shake your hand, and he'll notice there and he'll take it, and nobody will notice that it was given to him. And you never mention it. It's like it never happened. And almost always it works. There was only one time where I had somebody be surprised and taken aback, and that was I was in Canyon de Chelly with a bunch of students and ran across a guy who I'd known a little bit His Navajo guy lived down in the canyon, and he had a wagon, horse-drawn wagon, and he got us all in the wagon, and he took us down the canyon to his place and showed us all sorts of interesting things around, and then brought us back to the trailhead. And I had collected up money from everybody, and he wasn't expecting a dime. And I walked up and I shook his hand like that, and he felt the wad of money, and you could see his eyes go big.
Without having to say anything.
Yeah.
Without having to make a big production
Yeah.
out of it.
And he recovered very quickly and did the right thing and didn't act like anything had happened. But there was that one moment where he was like, holy shit. But he wasn't expecting us all being Belagana, that we would know how to gift him for his kindness.
That's probably what
Yeah.
took him aback was, oh, they know things, or
Yeah.
someone knows things. Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Here I go, wandering off into the past in memories.
Storytelling can be good.
Storytelling can be fun.
Ah,
So that's pretty much what we have to say for tonight.
yes, yes. RM says, I am planning to contemplate on quote unquote over effort and how I can balance it. How can I balance it?
Considering that you've just spent the last several years in a place of forced over effort, it would be really good for you to lean back away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's true for many of us.
Yeah, but especially if you're in medical school.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. It's
parenting.
Yeah.
All of that. So that's what we got.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch back over to
Brady Bunch mode.
Brady Bunch mode. And here we all are. All right, folks. You can wave goodbye to each other.
Thanks everyone for being here. And of course, you all showed up on time. That's amazing. And hopefully you all will remember next week that we are on Pacific Standard Time, which means a lot of us are in this phase of shifting our time zones around. Try to stay on top of that and double check your time zone. 6:30 p.m. Sunday Pacific time. All right. Bye, everyone. See you soon.
Take care.